Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel so weird saying that. I still haven't figured out what I want to say in these intros. I always feel awkward starting videos. So, anyway, hello, hi, welcome. If you're new here, hi, my name is POMPBERRY. I was gonna say that I'm not always this awkward, but that would be lying. And today we are going to do barrel, because I have done lock, I have done shock, now it's barrel's turn. I am really happy you guys have been enjoying my Nightmare Before Christmas series. Again, if you're new here and don't know what I'm talking about, I decided to do one character from the movie a week between Halloween and Christmas to kind of bridge the gap between both holidays. So if you haven't watched the other two, I highly recommend them. So today we are doing Beryl. He has a very round face, which I do not have, and I thought about slicking my hair back and painting it green like his, but I think I'm going to take the same approach that I had with Locke and turn him into a little girl. And the main reason for that is that, one, I have a green wig, and two, it has bangs, and so that automatically will make my face look rounder, because if you cut off part of my face, then, you know, it just looks rounder. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. The makeup, though, can be used for a regular boy Beryl costume. I'm just going to have a wig on. Alright, with that said, I'm just going to start. My eyebrows are already glued down and covered up. If you don't know how to do that, I have a tutorial on it, which I'm going to link up here and down below. Now, to prime my skin, I'm going to be using the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. So I'm just going to apply this kind of everywhere. You can see that instantly mattifies everything. I don't have oily skin. I have combination that tends to dry, but I do get an oily T-zone. But I kind of apply this everywhere just so that my makeup goes on smoothly. You can blend it out with your fingers if you want. I really like to apply it right under my eyes as well. Just makes the skin feel really smooth. I apply it on my lids too, because why not? And that's it. Skin prepped. Oh yeah, make sure to get right in there, because makeup always creases on me right there. So for his skin, I analyzed a bunch of videos and photos and the whole shebang, and it seems to me that he has white skin just like Locke, but I don't think it's as white. In some photos, it looks a little bit kind of bluish green tone, but I wanted to let Shock have the green skin, and it's not in all references that his skin kind of looks like that, so I am going to be doing white skin, but I'm not going to be using the Mehron Clown White Light, which is what I used for Locke, because that would be very stark white. Instead, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation in the color white with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in white, and this will give me a white base, but it will be a much gentler white. That makes any sense? Anyway, let's just get to it. I just thought I'd explain my process a little bit before I started. So I'm just gonna pump some of the foundation on the back of my hand and grab a dampened beauty sponge and then just go to town. This foundation doesn't have a super high coverage, but it's pretty decent. I'd say it's medium. I'm not sure how buildable it is, but that's why I'm going to use the concealer as well to really build upon it. Make sure you get the foundation right in there. And I don't think I've actually ever used this foundation before. I don't remember. I don't think I have. But before I started filming, I kind of just tested it on the back of my hand, and it takes a really long time to set. Like, it seemed like it wasn't setting, so either it doesn't set or it just takes a really long time to set. But when I applied the concealer over top of it, it seemed to make it set, and the finish was less kind of shiny. I mean, it's not shiny, but it's also not super matte. Uh-oh, it's already clinging to my brow cover-up in ways that I do not want it to cling, but hopefully we will sort that out. Pull back my wig cap just so I don't get makeup on it. And I'm not going to do my neck in cream makeup. I'm going to go in with face paint after, because cream products rub off, so I don't want it to get on my shirt. So that's why I'm going to use face paint. And the reason I'm not using face paint on my face is because it's a lot harder to get an even white base with face paint. So once that's on, I think I'm just going to go with the concealer, and I'm going to apply it quite heavily all over my face. I'm gonna work in sections because this concealer kind of dries kind of fast, I think. See, that helps. Yeah, that's a lot better. I typically don't like the ColourPop concealer, like as a regular concealer, but I do like this white one. So if you're looking for a white concealer, I would recommend this one for sure. So I'm actually going to Nashville tomorrow. I've never been, but we are going to spend Thanksgiving with Adam's brother and sister-in-law, and I'm really excited. I really want to eat Nashville hot chicken. I think that's the main thing I'm excited for. Obviously food. I don't like how the makeup is clinging to the glue, but that's normal. So I'm going to apply makeup around it to try to cover up those areas. Yeah, I don't think we have anything planned out for our trip other than hang out with his brother and his wife. But if you guys have any suggestions of things to do, we're gonna be there for like a week, so we're gonna have time to do stuff. I honestly don't know a single thing about Nashville other than they have good chicken, or so I've heard. I'm gonna let that set a little bit, gonna let it dry, and then I think I'm gonna go in with another layer. Okay, so I've given it a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go in with a third layer just where I think is necessary, which is around my brow cover, just because it's whiter on the brow cover and I want to make the area around it seem whiter so it disappears. Does that make sense? See, that's a lot better. Much better. And also a little bit on my nose, just because it seems a little red-ish peeking through. Under my eyes, even though it's not gonna really matter because he has a lot of stuff around his eyes. Cute. To set that, I'm gonna powder it with the RCMA No Color Powder on my big old Moda brush, and I'm just sprinkling it on, and then I tilt my head back and I kind of sprinkle it on my face from afar so that I kind of have a layer on there, and then pat it. And then make sure you don't set the creases on your eyes. I'm going to go in with Sugar Pills Taco, which is this matte white. And I'm going to use it to set my under eye and my eyelid as well. Extra setting. I'm also going to use that wherever I want a little bit more coverage. To make my face seem round, I'm going to want to highlight my cheeks, and I'm going to want to darken my chin and my forehead. So I'm just going to pack on that white right on my cheekbone, but kind of bringing it down to my cheek. And then I'm going to go in with the Lunatic Cosmetics Contour Palette Volume 2. I'm going to be using the grays here. I'm going to start with the light one and then intensify the contour with the darker one. And I'm just going to pack it on my chin pretty much. I want to reduce this chin as much as possible. God knows it could use a little reducing. So I'm practically giving myself a beard. Then I'm going to take this one right here and apply it on kind of the bottom part of my chin, making sure to really blend that out. And then I'm going to do the same on my forehead. Even though it's going to be covered up with bangs, I still want to contour. This is what you would do if you had your hair slicked back and weren't going to wear a wig with bangs. I'm starting with that lighter gray and then going in with the darker along the perimeter. Really just want to do like a stripe pretty much. You know how RuPaul's contour is the beige rainbow? This is just the gray stripe. You can bring that pretty far down, especially if you have as much real estate as I do. Am I round yet? My face definitely looks a lot rounder. I think I'm also gonna contour just the very side of my face, just so it just makes my cheeks look really prominent. Just like right on my hairline pretty much. And then bringing it here. Okay, once you look like a complete crazy person, now I'm gonna do his nose. And I've always kind of started with the nose with these kids, but his is pretty much like a pig nose. So I don't know, I'm gonna try to simulate that. Let's see if it works. Hopefully it does. So do you see here where my nose naturally kind of has these two little lines? I'm just kind of gonna continue them. I'm taking a flat brush and I'm taking that light gray and I'm just gonna create a little kind of triangular shape with like a point on the bridge of my nose. Hopefully this works, because if it doesn't, then it's in the middle of my face and I'm screwed and I'm gonna have to erase it. I'm going to shade all this in, this whole thing. I'm gonna take the darker gray just along that edge and fill the entire tip of my nose in. I feel like there's a better brush I could be using for this. There we go. Also gonna bring that actually around my nostril. Then I'm taking the darker gray and I really want to create like a gradient. I want the transition to be smoother between the darker gray and the lighter gray. I don't want it to just be a harsh line right there along the edge. Then I'm taking that darker color on the fluffy brush. Once that's done, grab a black liquid liner and it's time to draw his nostrils. And I'm gonna want to extend my own nostrils, so I'm just gonna kind of follow. Look like a little moo cow, or half of one anyway. I look like a little moo cow. Okay, so see, to make the line look straight when I'm looking ahead, it's like hella diagonal. So it's all about the optical illusion. Kind of just want the nostrils to be a little bit closer together. I don't want them to be huge, so I'm going to go in and fix them up with concealer after. So I'm going to clean that up with concealer because they don't look at all similar. That looks a little better, and the concealer makes it look like there's an edge around the nostril, so it looks a little bit more real, like when you blend it out, like on this side. I cannot take myself seriously with this nose. So I'm going to take some more of that concealer, and I'm going to go once again around the edges. So I'm trying to be real precise about it. Then I'm going to blend that out a little bit. Just a little bit though. I still want it there to create that edge. Also going to take that concealer and I'm going to create an edge around the top here. So while that dries, I'm going in with the darker gray on my little flat brush and I'm just applying it to the center of my nose and blending a little bit. Also bringing that down a little bit. Okay, now I really do look like an animal. Like this is a little animal nose. Gonna blend that out a little bit. Now for the eyes, I'm going to need a latex sponge and I'm going to pick at it. I'm going to turn it into a textured sponge. So you just want to pick, especially at the edges. You don't want any harsh edges. So all the straight edges, you want to get rid of that. Pick at the center, and then I also like to pick at the corners to make sure I'm not getting any of those edges in my final sponge. There you go. Now you have yourself a textured sponge. For the eyes, it's going to be super simple. I'm going to go in with some purple face paint. The reference that I was looking at for the other two was the Kingdom Hearts reference, and in that one he has black around his eyes, but in the movie he does have purple, so I'm going to stick to the movie version. So I just dropped a little bit of water into this, and there's barely any left there, but I'm just going to dip my sponge into that, and you're going to want to press so that you get that texture. So I'm just gonna go and make a circle around my eyes. And I want it to kind of fade out, but apply it to my under eye and on the inner corner as well. And it's a good idea to kind of turn the sponge as you go so that it's just not the same texture over and over again. You can change up the texture by turning the sponge. And now I'm cleaning off the excess that's on the sponge, just so I can go in and kind of, not blend out the edges, but go in with a lighter wash of color just to kind of blur the edges out a little bit. Wow, that is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. That's fine. Who cares with this nose anyway? Oh man. So now I'm just taking one little edge of my sponge so that I can really concentrate the product a little bit more and have a little bit more control over it. I look like a dog, like literally, with a spot around my eye. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, see, this is more of what I wanted. More controlled. Now it's done on the other side, so... And an interesting thing that I noticed in the movie is that the purple comes down onto his lids, but then he has like a white stripe really close to his lash line. So I'm probably going to have to go in and do that white after. But I do want to darken this, so I'm going to take some black face paint, but be really, really, really controlled about it. I'm going to take it on a tiny little edge of my sponge. I'm going to blot off some excess on the back of my hand and just go like into my crease and then kind of blend it out and smudge it out with the other side of the sponge. So apply and then blend out. That's just going to give it a little bit more texture. Going to break up the purple a little bit, and also it's going to define the eyes a little bit more. Whoa, whoa, no. So it just looks a little bit more textured, a little bit cooler, a little bit more interesting. Okay then. I kind of want to take this down a notch. So what I'm going to do is I have torn the end off my sponge, so I'm left with a smaller sponge. This is probably what I should have done in the first place. But I'm going to go in with some white face paint, and I'm going to take that around, I'm going to take that around the edges so that it dials it down a little bit. Is this going to work, or is this just going to make it muddy? I don't know. We'll see. And then blend that texture out so it blends with the skin. No, that's a lot better. Okay. That's a lot better. You know, usually it's just all about the layering. You just have to take the time to apply different layers and different textures. If you think you've gone too far with it, you can take the end of the dark sponge. Just go back in a little bit. Okay, that's a lot better. I like that a lot more. I think I'm going to darken close to my lash line, my bottom lash line, but I'm going to go in with an eyeshadow to do that. And I'm going to be using Sugar Pill's Bulletproof. So I'm just going to take that and kind of stamp it along my lash line. And the reason I want to darken my bottom lash line is because I'm going to be lining my waterline with white. So having the black right there will really intensify the contrast between the two colors, and it'll make my eye look a lot bigger. That is what we want for Beryl. Then I'm also going to apply that kind of to my crease, or like a little bit above my crease. Just want to intensify that a little bit. But you don't want to blend away the texture that's there, so I'm kind of just like patting it on and blending ever so slightly. I look like a little goth panda. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? So that's done. I guess I'm going to go ahead and line my waterline with NYX's Jumbo Pencil in the color Milk. Just going to generously apply that on my waterline. See the difference that makes? If there's some black residue on my waterline, I like to go once with a pencil and then wipe it off on the back of my hand. And then just go back. And then that makes sure that you have a really good color payoff. Really make sure to line that inner corner too, but still inside the waterline. And then I'm also going to take this and apply it close to my top lash line, since he has that bright eyelid. And that just really makes the eye look a lot rounder as well. So to make sure that the lids stay white, I'm going to set that with the Sugar Pill Taco. And I think I'm just going to pack it on with my fingers, to be honest. You just need it to pack on the product anyway, and you don't have to be precise about the application. So Can blend out those edges if you want to. And I don't know if I'm going to apply mascara on my top lashes, but I'm definitely going to apply them on the bottom lashes just to help intensify that big eye effect. I'm going to go in with the Ciate Wonder Wand mascara. This one is great for bottom lashes. And I'm just going to be real generous with this coat of mascara. I feel like Beryl is so freaking weird looking that it's alright to just have mascara on the bottom lashes. I feel like they've all been really weird looking, and that's great. Like, in my mind, I wanted to do them all like a cute version of them, but then that kind of went to hell because they all just look really, really weird. Like, when you translate it onto a face, it just looks so weird. So, yeah. And I feel like Beryl's the weirdest one of all. I don't know, at least in my mind, it feels like he's the weird kid out of all three of them, even though they're all kind of weird kids. I think I'm gonna go in with a second coat. Now for his lips. His lips are slightly darker and a lot greener than the other two's lips. So I'm gonna use two colors actually for his lips. I'm gonna start with the Ink of Elation lipstick in the color Ariel. And this is like a bluish green. And then I'm going to apply Fenty's Midnight Wasabi in the center. So his lips aren't like super, super plump necessarily, but he has a huge grin. So I'm gonna try to really extend the outer corners. Oh my god, I still can't identify what this lipstick smells like. It's got a really strong scent and it's really good, but I don't know what it is. It's like, it's not sweet. It's not like chocolate. It's almost like floral. I don't know. So to extend the outer corners, you have to really kind of overdraw the corners of the upper lip. And then I'm like not overdrawing the corner of my bottom lip at all so that it connects to the new outer corner. This one's curved slightly upward. I'm gonna try to fix them, balance them out. The end goal is for it to extend my smile when I smile. So it has to look right when I'm smiling. It can't just look right when I'm serious. Now I'm gonna apply Midnight Wasabi in the center. Blending it into the other color. And I'm using my little lip brush to really blend those two colors together. Now, as I did with the other two kids, I'm going to trace the outline of my lips with the dark gray. But I think I'm going to use this darkest gray here, actually, because his lips are already so dark. I just want to give the lips a little bit more dimension and volume. And on my bottom lip, I'm just going outside of the outline and just blending that out into the skin, kind of creating a shadow there. I'm doing the same on the outer corners. I'm just kind of creating a slight shadow outside of the outline and above the top lip as well. Once that's done, I'm going to take the Sugar Pill Taco and pat it in the center. Taking that brush that I used for the gray again and just going over the outlines where the white kind of overlapped a little bit, just to make sure the outlines are still dark. We are almost done. I'm going to paint my neck white using the Wolf white face paint. And I know that Wolf is out of stock everywhere, so the Mayron Paradise paint would do. Just any white face paint. I also like Snazaroo. Don't like Krylon. I think the Krylon aqua colors are overpriced and not pigmented at all. And just like weird and blah. I don't like them. And I'm using a NYX brush that has no name or number. I look like a goth sloth, actually, not a panda. This is ridiculous. Now the last thing to do is the teeth, and his teeth are very rounded out. So I'm just gonna go in with some tooth enamel. And to use tooth enamel, you have to make sure your teeth are dry. So you're gonna have some cotton to dry your teeth. And I'm going to take the tooth enamel on a tiny brush so that I can have more control over the application. And I'm gonna work little by little, section by section. So that's the teeth pretty much done. My bottom teeth are really hard to do because they're small and they're kind of not super straight. But yeah, now it's time for the wig. I'm gonna go clean off my hand because it's a whole mess. And I'll be right back. So this is the wig I have, but I don't think I actually like it with the hair like this. I was thinking about tying it up like this, and that way it makes my whole head look rounder. Might just clip it back like this. I think this is the finished look. It looks super weird. I look like a little sloth or something. This is the weirdest one to me out of all of them. And I don't know. I thought this was gonna be a girl barrel because of the hair, but now I don't have the hair, so now I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's just a regular barrel, but the hair isn't slicked back. It's just like little. This is super weird. I don't know how to feel about this. And he has a big old grin like that. I look pretty crazy, don't I? I'm sorry if I haunt your nightmares tonight. Yeah, it looks insane. I hope you guys liked this version of Beryl. He was last but certainly not least. I think he's the creepiest looking one. The other ones are just kind of like, ah, cute, whatever, weird, but he's just downright freaky. This was the fastest one to do out of all of them, I think, because the eyes didn't really involve blending, the nose didn't involve that much contouring, it was all pretty straightforward. Like I can't look at myself in the monitor. Like in the mirror it's whatever, but when I see it in the monitor it's just weird. So I like keep looking over there, but it's like, oh, I don't know. It's weird. So that's it for today. Don't forget to tune in on Friday for another video. I've been doing Nightmare Before Christmas every Tuesday and then another video every Friday. So it could be a get ready with me, a product review, or any other type of look. I've been doing that on Friday. So come back if you want to see that type of stuff too. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye!